Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E full electric vehicle. Now this one is the premium E all-wheel drive with the sport appearance package as well. This vehicle is sitting on 225/55 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. Now it has four-wheel disc brakes, but the front has the high-performance Brembo braking system. The name of this color is Molten Magenta Tinted Clear Coat, and it kind of looks different depending on the lighting and everything, because right now it's very cloudy and the sun just completely disappeared and it kind of looks like a maroon, you know, but there's certain times in which it looks like a light pink, and it could also look like red to some people. I've asked different people, like, what color do you think this is, and I've gotten all the kinds of answers. But I definitely can see what they're talking about depending on the lighting. So there's a lot of gloss black here in the front, and you can see here's a little camera right here integrated. There's parking sensors integrated as well. It has active grille shutters for cooling, and just mostly, you know, just sealed off in the front for the most part. It does have a little air curtain there for the side, so airflow there on the side, and a splitter there on the front end. Looking pretty cool. Now the headlights, multi-projector headlight system. So it's two projectors there on each side. And we'll have a night video so you can see how they perform, and interior and exterior lighting and all that stuff if you want to check it out. A lot of people say, and I understand what they're talking about, you don't get the Mustang experience. So the Mustang name on this vehicle just doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does have some qualities and some hints of Mustang look. But you know, this is a four-door kind of SUV type vehicle, and so yeah, I mean, it looks cool and everything, but you just don't get the Mustang experience. You don't really get the Mustang vibe from it much at all, except for when you see the Mustang, you know, pony or whatever on it. But it's a good-looking vehicle. There's a lot of gloss black cladding here around the wheel wells, and here the roof is all gloss black, and around the windows as well. Has a privacy glass there in the back, so you can tell it's classified as an SUV and not a regular car. Now it just has a regular Ford key. It does have the ability to open up the front trunk, the power lift gate, panic button, lock and unlock, of course. And it has the Mustang there, but yeah, it doesn't have any kind of like specific things to tell you that it's an EV or anything, like some kind of blue or, you know, anything special. Now it's a full proximity key, and so you can just keep it in your pocket if you want to and use the vehicle 100%. And it has a unique way of entering the vehicle. There's just a button here, and there's this little handle. So you press that button, it releases the door, and you can just grab this little handle right here. Now the back door, there's no handle. You just simply press the button, it releases the door, and then you can pull it from there. Now, if you release the door, and then you put your hand there, it's not gonna push in. I can't push it back in until we release it out this way, then I can close it. So that way you're, you know, not gonna as easily pinch your fingers or whatever. So it kind of stops it from closing right away. Charge port is here in front of the driver's door, and it does not have the Tesla system yet, but it does have the ability to go to a Tesla charging station with an adapter. So it has the regular, you know, non-NACS charge port, which this will eventually go away pretty much. Pretty much everybody's going to the NACS system. But yeah, and it does have like a little light right here and a little status light right here as it's charging. So yeah, it's fine. I think, you know, for the most part, the position of it is fine for most places. Some, depending on if you're going to like a fast charger or whatever with a short cord, but yeah, at home it's fine, I would say, for most people. So looking at the back of the vehicle, you can see all the gloss black from this angle too. So shark fin antenna that's really wide. That's like an overstuffed shark, I guess. But then there's a third brake light there at the top of the glass, and that rear spoiler, a rear wiper, and pretty cool tail lights. So once again, you gotta check out the night video. They did a pretty decent job on the lighting on the vehicle. And this has the perfect placement for the backup camera. I talk about this all the time, and then people just don't get it, right? I talk about how most vehicles have a backup camera that's next to the tag and it's offset. or it's just next to the tag, right? This has it in the very center where it's supposed to be, in a high position and integrated into the design of the vehicle. So right here is the camera. So it's in this high position in the very center, and it's integrated. Like, it's not like tacked on like an aftermarket thing. So this is perfect as far as the position of the camera, and it actually works well because of that position. So yeah, this is, you know, an example of where the camera, or how the camera could be implemented. I mean, it's just simply a hole and put the camera there, right? So it's not like super high tech positioning of the camera. It's just, you have to have intention where you put the camera and how it aims. For somebody that holds a camera for a living, the position and angle of the camera should be considered, right? Okay, so the parking sensors are back here, and then there's the reverse light is down here, which seems to work fairly well. It's a good position and illuminates the ground behind the vehicle pretty good. The button for the power liftgate is in the center, and it's kind of where you would expect it to be under the hatch here. So you just press the button. It's just electric, so the button really could be anywhere. It's not like a physical latch or anything. So there's the button there, and it's kind of rubberized. You can easily find it. And it's the same button to lower it as well. All right, so under here is hard touch surfaces. There's a light here, and then there is a shade. And I love the implementation of this shade because it's lightweight, it's easy to remove, right? It's easy to move, but it gets completely out of your way, and it's soft. So just like if you happen to bump up into it, it's not getting in your way anyway, but it completely lifts up with the liftgate. And so when it's closed, it covers up and hides your stuff, keeps the sun from shining on it. But when you lift it up, it's completely out of the way. So you don't really have to take it out. It's a great, great idea for this type of shade. Okay, so this is the cargo area. And there's this little cubby hole right here, bag holder. There's another light here, 12-volt power supply. Another bag holder. And then there's a speaker grill there for the subwoofer. A decent sound system. It's a B&O sound system. It's pretty decent. This lifts up, and this is just like just laying right here, this cover. It's not secure in any way. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You can lift it up, and it just kind of like props itself up like that. And here's you can put some charge cables in here. There's a tire inflator kit. There's no spare tire or anything like that. So yeah, there's an adapter there for the Tesla. But yeah, you can charge it at home, both 110 or 220 with this cable anyway. But yeah, you can have some subfloor storage as well. Now you could put this lower like that if you want to. But like, once again, it's just like, you know, not secure or anything. Now you can fold these seats down. It's a 60-40 split, so you can add to your cargo space if you want. This gives you a lot of options, especially if you have a car seat in one seat and you want to fold the other one, you can do that, or keep a passenger side or whatever. But yeah, that's just convenient. Let's press the same button here to lower it. Comes down slow, fairly safe, and then slams. The door goes all the way to the bottom of the vehicle and covers up that threshold, and it's quite wide right in there because the battery is like a sub-4 battery basically. But it does a decent job of hiding that height when the door's shut. So the inside, mostly black. It does have the red stitching here, looking pretty cool. Sporty looking, all soft touch surfaces here, 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 and then you have the hard touch here at the bottom. There is like this little place right here where you can put, it's like this place to put an umbrella or something, but like if you put something in there, it's kind of hard to get it out. It's kind of covered up. But yeah, all this door right here is this hard touch plastic, so when you put stuff in there, it slides around. But I like the way the speaker kind of pops out from the door. It has like this three-dimensional effect. This can be utilized as a little pocket as well, but there's the door release. Power windows, door locks. I like the way it has that line right there going on. All right, so there's this one doesn't have any kind of like illuminated sill plate on the side or anything. Power seat. Now it does go up and down, tilt the back, two-way lumbar adjustment. And it has the simulated leather material here for the seats. You got the stitching here. It's got the front double stitched French design here, but then they put double stitch right there, I guess just for looks, because it doesn't line up with any kind of seam. Interesting. These are heated seats, and they get hot too. They get real hot. All right, there's the floorboard. There's a little storage cubby there. It's kind of hard to get to, that little storage place. I guess it'd be decent for like a small bag or something. Hard touch surfaces here, and then a non-locking glove compartment. Smooth plastic on the inside. Decent size, I suppose. Then you had the more stitching here. And then there is a simulated carbon fiber right here. It looks pretty good. Feels good too. It has a good texture. It looks good and feels good. You can tell it's not real, but it sure does do a good job of making it feel real. Then there's a cloth here, kind of interesting. And then a non-reflective dash there. Now this one has a glass roof. It's not a sunroof, but it is a full glass roof, looking pretty cool. That's an additional option there. So getting in and out of the vehicle is fine. I mean, you have the height of the seat off the ground is good, and you know, which is nice. That's the good thing about this type of vehicle. It's very easy to just hop in and out. There's lots of room as far as the opening there for the door. The swing of the door is nice. The back door, the swing of the door could be a little bit better because we do have a little bit of a smaller opening. You can tell right here, that's kind of contoured a little bit. It's just smaller opening all overall. So the swing of the door, if it was just like a little bit more, I think it'd be better, but as it is, it's not bad. Inside of the back door, we have self-touch surfaces, and then you got the hard touch surface there at the bottom, but very similar design here in the back. And the back seat, similar styling with the stitching and everything. There's cup holders, armrests. Car seats attachments are here, and they're kind of like right in the seam right here, so they're easy to get to, and for the most part they're covered up when you're not using them. So there's seats, car seat attachment on that seat and this seat, but not in the center. And it's basically like a flat bench seat. There's like no contour whatsoever. Flat back, flat bottom, and a flat floor. That's nice. There's pockets there on the back of both front seats. USB-C ports here, climate control vents. But yeah, completely flat floor, which is to be expected on an EV. But like some other, like Volvo and stuff, they maintain the hump in the middle even on their EVs for some reason. Or maybe it's Polestar I'm thinking of. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You notice the floor mat snaps in place here. And it has the sporty pedals, except for the footrest. Let's take a look under the hood. Now we just pull this twice. We can use the key as well, but we can pull this twice. 1, 2. Now we can just lift the hood. The second pull is the emergency, the extra release that you would normally have to release here on a regular vehicle. Okay, so we do have some under hood storage, and you can see it has a seal here, sealing it up. And so yeah, this is kind of small. Does have a drain, and it has these little attachments here. Ford sells like these accessories and stuff, and they can attach there. Little storage cubby there with cobwebs in it for some reason. A light, it does have a light. There's more of those little attachments there. But yes, smooth plastic. So once again, and it has like this line right here, so when you make a turn, it's gonna slide. Things gonna slide around in there. So it definitely needs some kind of like cloth or some kind of mat to go in there to keep that from happening. Because as you know, when you're driving, something sliding around is gonna drive you nuts. So this vehicle has like, the trunk space is very slick, so things slide around back there, and then all the compartments, almost all of them, have smooth plastic, so things just kind of slide around in here. All right, so this is basically the only thing you're gonna have to interact with under here other than this compartment. Just fill up your windshield washer fluid. So this is an all-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, obviously, because this is EV, but they insist on putting the E in everything, like Mach-E, E all-wheel drive. So it has 346 horsepower and 428 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. Course, single-speed transmission, EV. Now it has 88, this is the extended range, so it has the 88 kilowatt-hour usable battery pack. They're estimated to range around 300 miles. It's more like 250, 260 from my experience. And also you can charge at 150 kilowatts. So it's not like a super duper fast charge experience, but it's pretty decent. This does have the blind spot detection system and rear cross traffic alert and the indicators here on the side mirror right there. So the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. All the windows are one touch up and down, non-laminated glass. And the back windows, see how far they go down, see if they go all the way down. Nope, not quite. It does have the ability to, of course, adjust the mirrors here, but you also have a power fold side mirror as well. And you can set it to where when you lock the vehicle, they'll automatically power fold as well. 3 presets for the power seat. And the power seat for the driver is basically just like the passenger. 2-way lumbar adjustment, normal tilts and everything. That stitching is just funny to me. It's just like there's no seam there. There's a seam right here next to the stitching. It's like, why not put the stitching there instead of just putting it there where it's not supposed to go. It's like they missed the line or something. Same thing with the back. To the left of the steering column, right in here, there is the headlight switch. You also have the defroster here, but the headlight switch has the automatic. So you have the headlights on, automatic parking lights and headlights off. Dimmer switch for the interior gauges, and then the traction control off. If you need to spin tires for whatever reason, I wouldn't, unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't mess with that because there's a lot of torque on an EV, and you can lose control. So you just got to know what you're doing. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column as well. So I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And pretty much is where I would have it. Maybe pull it up slightly. So, 6 feet, maybe a little bit over 6 feet, shouldn't have any problem driving this vehicle as far as the actual room. There's something about this vehicle. I'm playing with the seat a lot, trying to get it more comfortable. So there's something, I don't know, maybe I'm just not doing it right, or there's something about it that just kind of makes me feel like I need more comfort. I can't really pinpoint it to a particular thing. The seat feels fine. It looks like there's enough leg room, but there's something about the position of maybe the floor is a little bit high or the seat position's a little high. There's something about it. It's not a big deal. Just want to mention that when you take it for a test drive, just make sure it's going to be comfortable for you. Steering wheel, it's heated, just like the seats, and it gets pretty warm. Now it's just on or off. The seat has like 3 stages, so you can have low, medium, and high, so that way when it gets too hot, you can bump it down a little bit. But it feels good. It's soft to the touch. It's a simulated leather material, and it feels good. And I like the steering wheel. I like steering wheels that are soft. They have a little cushion to them. Some vehicles, they have like a leather wrapping or something, but underneath it, it feels like a steel, right? So this has good thickness. It's soft and comfortable. And then in the wintertime, you have the heated steering wheel. So it's all good. And the heat is all the way around. It's not just like in one spot. So it's all the way around here. It feels good. Now the buttons on this steering wheel are pretty basic. You have the volume for the radio, change to the tracks, voice recognition, and then you have a dedicated hang up button here for hanging up on a call. So like say if you have somebody calls, you can answer with this button, then you have a separate button for hanging up. I love that. Having a separate hang up button is good. Instead of using the same button to hang up as answer. So it could be a little bit of an issue there. Cruise control, it does have the adaptive cruise control. You just press this one button, it sets it and everything. And then you can, and once you have it set, and you have the system on, you cancel it, resume it, and you can reset it to different speeds here, lane keep assist system, and the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. So there's not a lot of, bunch of buttons on the steering wheel where you're controlling this screen. It's just this screen is just the way it is. You can make it light or dark, but there's not a lot of customization on the screen. Now right in here is the turn signal and the headlights or the windshield wiper controls here as well, front and rear. and there's the little washer there on the end. Here's the shifter, and the shifter is easy. I like non-traditional shifters. And basically what it does is you lift up on it to go in reverse, pull down it gently to go in the neutral, and then pull all the way down to go into drive, and then press here to put it in park. So it's very straightforward, and once you get used to it, it's no problem. And it completely frees up any, instead of having like a knife switch down here, lever type thing going on that takes up a lot of room, this is just gets it out of the way. It's all electronic anyway, so it works well. So there's the gauge cluster, and it has a digital speedometer. It shows you your range, battery percentage, its status of, as you're driving, you'll show whether it's using power or regenerating power. Odometer's here, what gear you're in, and the cruise control status, and then the status of the lane keep system and the adaptive cruise control system there in the center. So as you drive, this will be have a little bit of information there, but it's pretty basic. It's very basic. Small screen, and it gets the job done, right? Now you could, on this vehicle, basically just have information, have just this screen like a Tesla, not even have that, but it's convenient to have that as well. So this has this huge screen, and it has this dial integrated on the screen, which is kind of interesting. I don't know, I mean, it's fine. I don't really have a problem with it. Some people think it looks a little bit out of place, but it's pretty cool, I guess. Now it doesn't have like a dedicated home screen per se. It has these icons here at the top. So we have this button, it pops up different selections here. You have entertainment and you have apps. This button is for your vehicle, and this is where you can go in all your different settings. But the main thing right here, when you hit the vehicle button, is that you can choose the drive mode, which you have the whisper, engage, and unbridled. The whisper is like more like an eco mode. It's comfortable and all that stuff. It like has like a little description there. But engage is kind of more normal, balanced, and then this is kind of like your sport mode, which is fast and responsive. I like whisper because you still have plenty of power, and just easy to drive. You have one pedal drive, propulsion sound, which sounds kind of like an engine. We'll listen to that later, and an auto hold function as well. Comm screen basically just makes it look like that, which is nice because you can check out the clock and also the date and stuff, which sometimes that's important. Just touch the screen and bring it back. And then this other icon, so you have those three icons, remember, is your camera system, which you can look at even when your vehicle is not in reverse. When you put it in reverse, it'll go ahead and pop it up. So right now, since we're not in reverse, it's showing the front view. And it shows the front view and then the top-down view. And we have different options here. We can have a front really wide view, more linear, and then the front and the top-down view as well. So this view right here, I don't know why it eliminates the top-down view, but your parking sensors will also, if it detects something, it'll show visually here as well. But yeah, I prefer to have this right here. Now, if you hit the plus on this, you can zoom in basically to certain areas. If you hit the forward or backwards, it's going to show your tire tracks. So specifically where your tires are going to land on the ground so as I turn the steering wheel, you can see they're giving me the precise direction the tires are going to go. This is not the width of the vehicle. Like some vehicles have the lines that are width of the vehicle. This is just the tire tracks. You want to keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. You see the backup camera there. Camera's in the very center position. It doesn't show too much of the vehicle. It shows directly behind you and have good visibility behind you. And it does have the active guidelines. Now this will be your actual width of the vehicle, the full width of the vehicle, and then it has a center line, which is in the center because the camera's in the center. Has a little noise. I don't know if you can hear that, alerting other people that you're in reverse. So going back to this screen, we have the navigation. And it's fairly responsive. You can zoom in and out. We'll twirl it around. Let's see how far we can go out. You see that blue line? That's how far we can drive with our existing range. So it's showing 244 miles on our range, and that is a estimate, basically, depending on how you drive and all that stuff, of how far away you can drive. That's your potential areas in which you can drive before you have to charge. So I like that. That's pretty cool. Because some people think you have to like charge like every 20 minutes or something. No, you can go a long ways. So I'm next to here on the coast of North Carolina, and you can see I can go to Charlotte. I can go all kinds of different places here. All right, let's go back out of that. The radio. Turn it down. We have satellite radio, AM, FM. Now it has the Stingray karaoke, and it's like basically a game. This vehicle has a lot of games because I guess they think you're going to be charging a lot. So it has a whole karaoke thing going on. And there's more of that under the entertainment tab. So you have these video games you can play plus YouTube. So thought that was kind of neat. All right, let's go back here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, of course. And you have, public charging stations you can find. You can check the tire pressure here. So you can actually see the numbers. And then you have, this is interesting, record feedback, right? So we hit that, and then I'll show you what it does.
Record any likes, dislikes, or suggestions about the experiences with your vehicle, and then select send.
So
no feedback was sent.
You can imagine how easy it is to, like if somebody that really likes to complain, they can send all kinds of hysterical feedback recordings back to Ford. So it's pretty interesting that they included that. And then your different entertainment. And the vehicle settings are basically tons of them here. Sound, phone list, driver assist systems. Everything has to load, but we'll just kind of get a general idea here. Vehicle settings, general settings, connectivity. You can connect to your Wi-Fi at home and do updates and stuff. Software updates, Ford Assistance, which is your voice recognition. It has Amazon Alexa as well, and a valet mode. So yeah, here at the bottom is the climate control. This is where you'll find your heated seat, heated steering wheel, fan controls, front and rear defrosters, stuff like that, where you want the air to blow. When you hit this right there, it'll pop up more information, visuals here for the climate control. You can turn it off and stuff as well if you want to. Now, especially if you need more range, you can turn off the climate control. It'll definitely help out with range if you kind of need the extra range. So down here, there's a USB-C, a USB-A port. And there's not a lot of stuff that's changed in the last several years on this vehicle, but this right here is different. And I don't understand it. Maybe somebody at Ford can explain it to me what I'm missing. But basically, it looks like, to me, that this is where the wireless charger is, right? But this mat, which you can take out, and it's made to clean and put it back in, it has like a little Mustang underneath it. But you can see where the charge pad is right there. Well, this mat, if you put your phone there, it looks like you can put two phones there, but look, this is where they put the other phone. So if I put a phone here, I can't put one there. So look, if I just put one on this side, it blocks where that phone would be. So although it looks like there's two places for two phones, there's no way to put them in there. That's one kind of interesting thing. We'll get to another one in a second. There's the cup holders. All right, so here, once again, we have another place to put a phone. All right, now I've got a big case and stuff and everything, right? It's a wallet case. But it fits in there, no problem. Now, all right, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Okay, so this comes out. And this is where you can run a cord under here, through that. Actually, let's go ahead and put the phone back in so you can see what I'm talking about. Put it in there. And now the cable can fit through there and then out the bottom through this little keeper system right there into this hole, and then through that into this compartment right here where there is USB-C ports and a 12-volt power supply. So like imagine setting this up where you have this wire and you have to put this into place. You got to plug it in, run it under there, put it all through there, and then plugging it in. And then when you get to where you want to go, you pull out on it and it unplugs it. And then you kind of have to like reset it all up, right? But yeah, it's kind of interesting, I suppose. But it gives you the ability to plug in your phone, I guess. And you know, as long as it's sitting right there, if you pick up and move it, then it unplugs it. All right, so there is a 4-way flashers there. There's a park assist button there, and the electronic parking brake, which you can set it up to where the electronic parking brake will turn on. It basically just turns on automatically when you park with the vehicle. So, you know, if you need to manually do it, you lift up on it. And this compartment here has a little storage compartment here. Now, this bottom is a felt lining, right this. Now, I would replace this with just a white piece of felt. It gives you a little bit more, reflects more light back so you can see in here a little bit better. Otherwise, it's kind of really dark. Now, it has this little place to put your key, just in case the battery is dead. You can place it in that little holder, and it will read the immobilizer so you can drive the vehicle. But yeah, and this little thing right here, it's kind of cool. And then the armrest just comes down. This doesn't ratchet or anything, just flips up or down, and it's fairly soft. It's not big enough to share with the passenger, but it's okay. It's not like, it's kind of rubbery soft. It doesn't feel like a pillow or anything. Auto dim rear view mirror. And then up here is, I think this is a temperature sensor right here. It's not a camera. Yeah, that's probably a temperature sensor. And then we have the interior lights here. You can turn them individually here, here. And then you can have it turn on with the door or not. And then it has this little ambient light. It's not really an ambient light. It's just like a little light to give you, you know, illumination here. I show a lot of this stuff in the night video. The night video is basically a couple years old, but it shows you, you know, basically the same vehicle as far as, you know, the ambient lights and pretty much everything. Here is the Home Link garage door opener controls and the light there with the mirror, which works really good. It doesn't blind you, but shines in your face. That's nice. And then has like a vinyl cover here on the visor, which is easier to clean than the cloth. I like the way they match the material and the feel and everything, but it's a vinyl. That's nice. Clip there. Extends out here on the side as well and gives you perfect coverage all the way to the end. Other vehicles will like stop right there and you know right where the sun's gonna be, right? But this one all the way, perfect. Full coverage here on the side, full coverage here in the front. So yeah, this visor is really well done. Liking it. So yeah, I like this place to put your shades or sunglasses or whatever, or you know, safety glasses, whatever it happens to be. And then this non-sunroof, just a glass roof, is kind of cool. The only issue is on a real hot day, the sun shines on you and gets you hotter. But it's tinted and reflects most of the heat back. All right, visibility back here is not ideal because it has like this little tiny 2-inch window right there, but in a big blind spot. But yeah, I mean, with all the technology and everything, it's fine. Hadn't really had any problem driving the vehicle, but just get used to, like any vehicle, you got to get used to blind spots and stuff. So the acceleration is excellent because it's a EV, and it has different drive modes here: Whisper, Engage, and Unbridled. Basically, the Whisper is, you know, the eco mode. Engage is kind of a normal mode, and then Unbridled would be the sport mode, basically. Now you do have the one pedal drive, propulsion sound, auto hold, all those you can turn off. Like I don't care for them, so I just turn them off. So the unbridled is where the maximum, performance is as far as acceleration and stuff. So let's just give it a little run here. All right, so yeah, that feels good. You can definitely feel the weight of the vehicle, but it does have a responsive acceleration, and with the EV system, is to be expected. Now, this isn't the GT or anything, but it has a good, fun acceleration. And when you have it in the unbridled, you can feel a lot of basically the regen braking is higher, right? When I put it in engage, it's less. So as I let go of the accelerator, it doesn't slow down as fast. And then with whisper, it basically turns that off. So as you let go of the accelerator, it just like freewheeling. What in a gas car would be called engine braking, right? Like you slow down and it would slow you down. But this one is just freewheeling with the regen braking in whisper mode, which is good for highway. If you're trying to maintain that speed, every time you let off the accelerator, you don't want it to slow down because then you have to speed back up, But if you're in tight traffic, the regen braking kind of helps out. That really one pedal drive is for, tight traffic and stuff like that, from my experience. Some people use it all the time. I don't really understand how. And I understand how they do it, but it's just the efficiency just kind of would go down because, you're losing your momentum, and it costs more energy to regain momentum than it is to regenerate it, right? You're not going to regen enough to make up for it. So if you have it on whisper, the regen's gone, and if you're on a highway, it just kind of, if you let go of the accelerator, you maintain as much acceleration as the vehicle's capable of anyway. It doesn't slow you down intentionally. But yeah, the engage is actually pretty good. As far as just normal driving, engage is really good. But the whisper mode for me is, because I do a lot of back roads and highway driving, pretty much the best, really. It still has, like, if you're just kind of going along and you want to punch it, you have the acceleration in whisper mode. Don't worry about it. It's not just going to, it's not like it's cut back as much as other eco modes and other vehicles. It feels like it just not good. This one in whisper mode, it's kind of easy driving, but when you need the acceleration, it definitely gives it to you. It's not quite as much as the unbridled, but it's still fine. Yeah, it feels really good. Only takes a few seconds. You're at the speed limit. But overall, driving it, like I said, you can feel the weight, right? The vehicle has a little stance, has a little bit of a high stance. You can feel that weight when you accelerate. Braking, has a little high, somewhat of a higher center of gravity than you would think, even though the battery is at the very bottom. So when you're braking, you can feel that nosedive, and when you accelerate, you can feel the vehicle just jumping back and the front end lifting up. You can feel the higher center of gravity. But just kind of normal driving, it feels pretty good. The suspension keeps most of the bumps from bothering you, really. It's pretty smooth. Smooth riding vehicle. And quiet, too. Really quiet. It just feels good. Now, the cruise control has the adaptive cruise control, of course, which keeps you at a safe distance from other vehicles in front of you when you have it turned on. But the lane keep assist system holds the lane fairly well. And it doesn't always work. It depends on the road, and it depends on certain factors, the lines on the road and stuff. Most of the time it works. Like right now, it's working. Now it does not have a grip sensor. It has so like say right now, it's telling me to put my hands on the wheel. So I have to turn the steering wheel a little bit. So there's a little bit of it's very sensitive though, but sometimes you'll get some false alerts. Even if you have your hands on the wheel, it tells you to put your hands on the wheel. And it's just because of like you're on a super straight road like this, and you're not really putting any kind of turning on the steering wheel. It'll sometimes do that, but it's not a big deal. It's not like some other vehicles where you're constantly doing it to the point where I'm turning the feature off. But it will do it occasionally. And if you're just driving normally, your hands are going to tug on the steering wheel a little bit anyway, and it's super sensitive. So it's, like I said, it's not a huge deal, but it's something that you may run into occasionally where it tells you to put your hands on the wheel when your hands are already on the wheel. The range is good. You know, you're getting close to 300. Well, not really 300, but 250, 280. You know, like it depends, right? 250 miles, right? It has a good range for most. I would say for most people, 250 miles in a single day. That's a lot of driving. So yeah, for me, even though I live out in the middle of nowhere and I have to drive everywhere long distance, it's plenty of range. I don't even have to charge it every day, so it's fine. And you know, like 3 or 4 hours, I can go on a trip. You know, it's adequate. Now this one doesn't have the Tesla plug or the NAC system, so it has the traditional plug-in, so it's a little bit limited, but you can use an adapter, I think. But you know, you can plug it in and charge it, fast charge it pretty much anywhere. But charging it at home is the ideal place. Just the tiniest bit of wind noise, but it's so quiet in here. It sounds good. It feels good. The position of the seat and just the overall comfort of it. The seat's okay. And I don't know, that the roominess is good, but there's just something about it that I'm constantly fiddling around with the seat trying to get a little bit better. So I don't know if it's just me personally or, you know, it's something that you want to take it for, when you're taking it for a test drive, you'll know. Because after like a few minutes, you realize whether it's comfortable for you or not. It's fine. I can't really pinpoint any particular thing that I'm like having a problem with, you know. It's not like there's some kind of problem with the seat or a problem with the floorboard or a problem with the room or something in the vehicle. It's just the position that the seat's in. I'm constantly just kind of playing around with it, trying to get it more comfortable. It could just be me. It also has a camera system. There's a camera right here, and there's these on this camera, you can probably see the lights flashing. I don't see them at all, but there's lights here, and basically they're shining in your face, and there's a camera shining in your face as well, or aiming in your face, and it's making sure that you're paying attention to the road, right? So if I cover it up, I'm just kind of cover it up. It's telling me to. In order to keep using the lane keep assist system, then I have to. Now it's like flipping out on me. It's pushing the brake. Let's see. I'm gonna make it mad. It's like pushing the brakes. Now it's turned on the four-way flashers, and it's stopping the vehicle. All because I have this camera covered up. So there we go. There's your camera system. All right, so let me turn off the lane keep assist system. So yeah, for the convenience of having a lane keep assist system, you know, it has apparently, pretty sure that's like a regulation or something where they enacted where they have to have driver monitoring stuff. But yeah, it gets some false alerts, because there's sometimes, depending on if you position the steering wheel a certain way, this part might get in the way of your face, or maybe your glasses are dirty, or the sun is shining a certain way. It'll get false alerts where it's telling you to watch the road. I'm like, I am watching the road, right? And you can see, the end result of that. If the system can't detect your face, whatever the case may be, whatever situation, or your eyes, then the reason why it has the infrared illuminators is because it can see through sunglasses, and it's actually looking at your eyes. So at nighttime, or sunglasses or whatever, it's constantly looking at your eyes. So if your eyes are looking at over here at the screen too long, or if your eyes are not paying attention to the road, your head could be like square with the road, but if your eyes are looking off, it'll do the same thing. So it's a driver attention monitoring system. And yeah, the lane keep assist system, to me, it's such an easy vehicle to drive that it doesn't really do much other than give you lane departure warnings and you know, might aggravate you really. So I tend to turn that off, even though just for that purpose, you know, so it's not like constantly bugging. Because let's say I put my arm on the steering wheel, I'm driving like this, right? It blocks the camera. So I have to like go like this and make sure I'm all paying attention to, oh, can the camera see me? You know, it's like, it's so silly, right? I am conforming to the vehicle instead of the vehicle conforming to me, and that's not the proper use of technology. Technology should accommodate the user, not the user accommodate the technology. All right, so let's see what this propulsion sounds like. I guess it's kind of like sounding like an engine noise, exhaust noise. Yeah, it's kind of subtle, you know, I don't really notice it. It's definitely very artificial sounding. I've heard some better exhaust notes than that, but yeah, like, it's an EV, right? The whole point is the quiet, smooth, comfortable ride. But it's not loud. It's just barely noticeable. I mean, if you had the radio on, you wouldn't even notice it, so.